The airport, the only place on earth where no matter what your age is or where you've been in life, they'll still manage to find a way to treat you like a toddler. One take, wheels up. Okay, first of all, can we talk about the wheels up premise? I feel like white girls on Instagram and everybody's like, wheels up Fort Lauderdale. Like, listen, all right, wheels up. If you are flying private, you can say wheels up, right? If you're maybe I'll give it to you if you're flying first class, you could say wheels up. If you are landing and or taking off from an aircraft carrier, you can say wheels up. But listen, if you're on Southwest Airlines and boarding in the C group, I think that disqualifies you from saying wheels up. You're literally on their schedule, okay? You have no say in when the wheels go up, okay? That goes for Frontier Airlines as well. That also go all those other budget ones. You can't say wheels up if you're included in one of those. But anyway, the topic of today's show, first of all, we should get to the sponsor. And this week's sponsor, because we're talking about airlines, and based on all the sensitivity that has been going around in the culture this week, today's sponsor is none other than Planters. Yes, Mr. Potato Head was canceled last week, and pretty soon they're coming for Planters for being an unrealistic body figure for women to attain or something like that. That they're coming. Somebody's coming for Planters next week. That's why I try to give them some props. Try to give them some support because they're going to be canceled probably next week. Listen, the topic of today's show is the airlines, and specifically when it comes to COVID and wearing masks. There was an article in Forbes this week that said long after the pandemic is over, people will probably be still wearing masks in airplanes for a long, long time. And listen, say what you want about that. Why mask wearing on an airplane is actually a federal law. It's like if you go into Waffle House without a mask on, they'll probably bring you in. Actually, you can't go to Waffle House with a mask on. Actually, if you go to Chili's with a mask on or without a mask on, they can't take you to jail, but they can refuse you service. So in an airplane, it's different now because that is a federal law. That's what Joe Biden put into federal law literally day one. First of all, Biden, where are the stimmy checks, bro? Day one, you should be working on the stimmies, dude. And you're out here telling people should be wearing masks on. He said, that's stupid. Do people say stimmies? I don't know. He said it's a federal law in all federal buildings to wear masks. And then he included airplanes and railroads. Railroads? How out of touch is this guy? Did you enter that federal law in your Palm Pilot? Railroads? Thomas the Train Engine's got to wear a mask? Come on, John, that's a stupid joke. Let's move on. Listen, since April of 2020, that people have been wearing masks on airplanes pretty much. And the first airline to mandate it was actually JetBlue. What? JetBlue hasn't been the first airline to literally mandate anything. And they also changed their slogan. It's like, hey, listen, you might die on this flight, just not from COVID. Come on, that's a pretty good joke. Also, we're trying to switch some things up on the show. We're trying to make it a little more like a late night show. And to adjust to that, I added a cup of coffee filled with water, because only on late night shows do people drink from a coffee cup that has water in it, like an actual axe murderer. Has that ever been done before outside of a late night comedy show? Never. Just give them a bottle of Dasani. Goodness, why are you drinking? Okay, that's not important. Listen, if you've been on an airline, of course, at any time from the last year, you know that everyone's stressed about wearing the masks. And they get on, and of course, all the hostesses, not hostesses, whatever their name is. Shoot, what's their names? This is live TV. Hostesses, what are they called? Stewardess. I knew I was going to get it. The stewardess will tell you to wear a mask, and then you got to watch that safety briefing, which no one watches. I don't know what people watch less, the airline safety briefings or last week's Golden Globes. Literally, we don't care. Okay, let's move on from that. Listen, first of all, I would like to know what would happen to all the mask Karens out there. What would happen everyone's forced to wear a mask. If then they brought down the oxygen mask, people were like, God, what do we do? Do we release the mask because we're going to get COVID? But if they would rather get, people would rather keep their mask on and not get COVID than actually get actual oxygen. I promise. You would probably see that. That's how ridiculous people are in these airports about the mask. But listen, I just flew home last week from, I was in Florida, which they have no rules. But I flew home, and in the Nashville airport, they got all these signs up literally saying that it's criminal. It's a criminal offense to not wear a mask. And that's crazy. I mean, you've seen, of course, a bunch of, headlines from CNN about people not wearing masks and getting kicked off flight. Here's one about a guy, getting kicked off a flight. And listen, I trust CNN, okay? CNN is the website to be trusted because they also said that there's a record high in avalanche deaths this year and COVID is to blame. I wish that was a made up article. It's not. That's real life. Come on. That's neither here nor there. You know what? I'm going to drink some of this and calm myself down. Listen, if you don't wear your mask on an airplane, they can literally send you to jail and put you on a no-fly list, which could you imagine being on the no-fly list? It's like, who's on the no-fly list these days? Like Al-Qaeda, Ben Stiller, and you for not wearing a mask when you flew to Montgomery, Alabama? Come on. There was an article that I found when I was doing research for this about a family of 20. What? A family of 20 all got kicked off the flight because they weren't wearing a mask. And I was like, oh no, listen, please don't be homeschoolers. Please don't be homeschoolers. Please don't be Amish people. Hopefully this is not my group, okay? Because I don't want to be associated with this. And I looked it up and they said they were on a flight on the way to Salt Lake City. And I said, yes, it's not me. It's the Mormons. I'm free. Come on, Mormons. What are y'all doing? I know you have a bunch of rule. Okay, I'm not getting into that joke.
Yeah, no one cares.
Could you imagine, though? I was just thinking about this. Could you imagine going to prison because you didn't wear a mask on an airplane? Listen, COVID or not, you're not gonna last long in prison. I promise you. You're like, what are you in here for? Murder. What are you in for? Double homicide, armed robbery. What are you in here for? My nose slipped down. My mask slipped down over my nose when I was on a flight, and the stewardess told me. And could you imagine that person in jail? Listen, I've never been to prison. Knock on wood. There's no wood. No, there's wood back there. But I'm just saying, can you? And I wouldn't. I hope if I ever go to prison, it's for something serious. I should definitely not say that on this show, but it's too late. We can't go back. Listen. The airlines is tricky, okay? Because that's the only place that we have to go. There's no other way around it, okay? If you're going to like a sporting event, you chose to go there. If you're going out to eat at night, you chose to go there. So the energy is a little bit easier. People a little bit more lax because you're like, if we're out here, we chose to be here. Airports are the only places that there's really no way to getting around, okay? We can't all fly private. We're not mega church pastors. Come on, John, was that? Yes, it was low-hanging fruit, but you didn't need to hit it. It was, listen, let me change that joke. Rewind. You can't rewind. Too bad. We already watched it. We can't all fly private. We're not Leonardo DiCaprio going to speak at an environmentalist conference. Is that better? I feel like that's a better joke. I don't know. I'm just saying, listen, if you... we can't really choose because we're kind of at the mercy of the airlines, right? If you go into Applebee's, they don't treat you right. You're like, you know what? I'm taking me and my family. We're going to Chili's. That's where they respect my business. Let me get an old timer and some chicken crispers. But the airlines were kind of, in a lot of ways, forced to do what they say. I'm personally just glad that there's less people in the airport and low-key, less emotional support pets. What happened to them, by the way? Remember when before COVID, everybody's like, we need our dog on the flight, and then we need our pet horse, we need our iguana, we need our peacock or whatever. And then all of a sudden COVID, and everyone's like, Nah, never mind. I was just making that thing up. I was just doing it for attention. Yeah. Also, how does that help your anxiety, by the way? This dog is pooping all over the terminal and barking at strangers. That somehow is solving your anxiety. John, really? Is this what this episode is about? No, okay? Stay on track. You always get off topic in things you're angry about. You need to stay on track. Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, you know what? You're right. I gotta just drink the... Listen, I can even tell already that the airports are getting more lax with all the coronavirus stuff. It was probably end of last year. I was sleeping, and then the mask slipped below my nose, and the lady woke me up twice to tell me to put it back up there, and then she threatened me and said I was going to go on the no-fly list. Like, people used to be very, very sensitive about the masks, like Jeremy Lin sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Come on. That joke is definitely not for everyone, but if you get it, you're going to die laughing. People are already less sensitive about the mask. Last week on the flight, my mask slipped down below my nose and I fell asleep and literally no one cared. So we're going back to the way it used to be. Remember back in the day when masks were just for like skiers and welders and women in their 40s trying to look like they're in their 20s? Hopefully, come on, John, really, another shot. Yo, I'm on 10 today. Hopefully, we'll get back to the place where people can just mind their own business and fly and be normal in airports. I hope the day is coming soon. But I started the episode, which is how I want to end it, full circle, about people treating you like you're a toddler in an airport, as if it wasn't bad already. The patronization that's going on with the COVID-19 in the airports is literally embarrassing. Hey, everyone, this was from Southwest. Hey, everyone, please stand on your dot. Yep, stand on your dot. Here's, like, I'm not a middle school, or not even middle school, I'm not a kindergarten line leader going to recess. Hey, also, I know how long 6 feet is. I can judge 6'2" is how tall I am. So, like, 2 inches, that's how far. I don't need a dot to tell me how far away 6 feet is. I get it, okay? Everyone, listen, wear your mask on the flight, but if you want to have a little snacky snack, you can move the mask down, but only when, okay. Listen, I'm a full-grown adult male man. John, don't you dare make that joke. I'm a grown man. I don't need to be patronized in the airport. That's why no one wants to follow these rules, because you literally treat us like children. And it's been happening have you ever been in an airport without like your earphones in? You just have to witness the disaster that's going. Excuse me, if anyone left their shoes at airport security, please return. Who's leaving their shoes? What kind of monsters are in the... Hey, listen, one last warning. Well, we're going to count to 3, and if you're not boarded this plane, we will leave without you. Listen, stop with the announcements on the intercom. You knew what time this flight left when you woke up this morning. Please be responsible for yourselves. It is literally embarrassing. Okay, everybody get in line for the airplane. If you have a Gold Star membership, you're first, followed by Silver membership, you're second, then Medallion, then... Listen, we got it. We know what to do. Listen, we all know the rules, all right? Treat us like adults. We'll treat you like adults. We all know that the number one rule on an airplane, since as long as we can remember, is... no smoking and no eating peanuts. Come on, somebody keep planners in business. It's only going to be another week or two max. One take. We'll see you next week.